Let me ask you guys a question. An honest question, okay? Let's say you want to make a movie or a TV show or a cartoon or whatever, a piece of media. And the subject of that media is the sexual awakening of a child. Now, I'm a big proponent of art for art's sake. I think that can be done well, and I think that can be done poorly. For an example of it being done well, have any of you guys heard of this hit new 1999? Is it 1999? I forget. 2000, 2001 hit anime, Fooly Cooly? Well, Fooly Cooly, one of the best anime ever made, my personal favorite piece of media, is an anime about a young boy, I think he's 12, called Naota, who, in a very wacky and magical way, goes through a number of personal trials that are metaphorically representative of him coming to terms with his sexuality. Phenomenal story, great, fantastic. And you know how Naota looks? This child sexually maturing? You know how they made this child look? This is critical, okay? I want you to pay attention to this. Here we go. This is how Naota looks. It's pretty alright, right? Look at him. He's got a band-aid in his forehead. That's pretty cool. It's a good show. I like it. Now, what if I told you I was going to make a show about a child discovering their sexual maturity, and the promotional art for that show looked like this? Do we have a slightly different, perhaps a slightly different opinion on the direction from which this particular piece of media is being approached? Maybe, possibly. I'll be honest with you. I don't like this promo art very much, to be perfectly honest. So, pedophilia and sexual abuse of children is and always has been a really, really, really big kind of a political thought-terminating cliche. Both sides accuse each other of being pedophiles all the time because nobody likes child molestation. It's like a really easy dig, you know? And unfortunately, what I've noticed is discussions on the systemic abuse of children in a sexual manner are always managed really, really dishonestly, especially by the right. Like, here's a hot take. Hollywood is fucking full of pedophiles. Hollywood is absolutely full. Are you kidding me? All the little child stars they roll up in there, and then by 15, 16, like they're in juvie for some. Yeah, no, there's a this isn't like a crazy conspiracy secret. Like this has been discussed for decades. This is not like a big top secret issue. Watch out about the lighting, guys. It's just curtains above a window. Jesus Christ. The issue is, and then you have Pizzagate. But the issue is, Pizzagate is fucking insane. Pizzagate is that all the leaders of the world are using secret codes and there's a basement beneath a place, but there's no basement there. There's no basement in the place where they met in the basement, and it's satanic, and they eat the children, and it's every leader in the world, you know? There's this really weird inconsistency on the right, where the right will be obsessed over the idea that, like, Hillary Clinton is like raping and eating children, but they're okay with Trump, who was not only a friend of Epstein, but actually bragged about Epstein and his shared appreciation for young girls. There's literally a quote on that. Trump was like, "Oh yeah, Epstein. Epstein, great man. Really fun to be around. He likes him young. You know, we both love girls. He likes him young. Pretty young. Yeah." It was something like that. Like, it's crazy how obvious it is, but nobody talks about that. All these people obsessed with pedophilia, they never, ever, ever talk about that. They never talk about that. They'll overlook the fact that the president has a very credible rape accusation against him by, like, at the time, I think a 14-year-old girl. They'll support Roy Moore, in spite of the fact that we all know what the fuck he's up to on his Sunday nights, you know? But then they'll lose their shit over other stuff. The fact of the matter is that pedophilia is very often weaponized. Yeah. And Trump bragged about being able to walk into the dressing room of the Miss Teen America pageant. Literally just like into the dressing room for children, for little girls, you know? Like he bragged, like this is, it's not conspiracy. Like it's just something that happened, you know? In my personal opinion, I don't think the right gives a fuck about raping children. The right has also been pretty adamant, in America at least, about not standardizing the laws regarding marriage and child marriage. They're also big promoters of like child beauty pageants. But both sides weaponize accusation of child abuse at the others. And one of the most frequent accusations that are thrown at the left is that we're grooming children by being pro-trans or pro-feminism or whatever. Now, having looked through the data myself, the general arguments for gay or trans people being in some way inherently connected to the abuse of children are complete bullshit. But every once in a while, you have stuff like this crop up. And it kind of fuels the fire a little bit. The issue is, this isn't just a bunch of girls in, can I say stripper clothes? Is that fair? I mean, right? Yeah. This isn't just a bunch of 11-year-old girls in stripper clothes, okay? Here's the premise. Oh, it's a movie. Yeah. Amy, 11, becomes fascinated with a twerking dance crew. Hoping to join them, she starts to explore her femininity, defying her family's traditions. So it's not just dancing, it's twerking. Pretty impressive. Now, if I remember correctly, are the actors actually underage or just playing underage girls? I haven't checked. If there are actresses who look like this but are actually 18, then that is A, very impressive, and B, doesn't change anything. You know? That's like a 1,000-year-old dragon lolly kind of loophole right there, you know what I mean? Yeah, she's actually 800, you know? Apparently, this was made by a woman who had a similar experience. That's what I read. And that's the issue here. See, I don't think there's anything wrong with kids discovering sexual stuff because that's literally human nature. That's one of the few times we can actually defer to human nature as actually being a decent explanation for human behavior. The issue isn't children discovering their sexuality. The issue is adults preying on children. This show isn't going to be watched by 11-year-olds who are on the cusp of developing their sexuality. This show isn't going to be an instructive lesson on how to become comfortable with your body for 11-year-olds. It's going to be watched by adults who are, if we're being charitable, watching it to reflect on their experiences as a child, and if we're being uncharitable, cranking it to what I can only assume are many, many extremely provocative dance scenes in this movie. I don't know that. I'm just going to assume that's probably the case. And it's really fucking weird to frame this as like a feminism thing, you know? Because it's true that feminism is about broadening sort of the range of options for women, and if you want to feel comfortable in your body, that's great. You know what? It's fine. But it is subsequently extremely strange to sort of use a narrative of female empowerment to do what is essentially the greatest conceivable level of sexual sexualization you can legally get away with for underage girls. You know what I mean? It is it's man, if you oh man, oh wait, holy shit, somebody just linked this. Guys, look at this. Holy fuck. Netflix Cuties movie. I did some research. The director is a French Senegalese black woman who is pulling from her own experiences as an immigrant and comments on the hypersexualization of pre-adolescent girls. But look at the original poster versus the Netflix one. Whoa, hold on now. So this might wait. This was at the Sundance Fest. Okay, so this might not be the original director. This might be Netflix. Oh, Pedoflix. Hold up. Wait, this makes it even worse. So now we no longer have the conceivable excuse of this being a raw depiction of a child's sexual awakening or something. Now we have this, and Netflix is like, how do we sell this to people? It's a story about girls finding themselves. A story which ostensibly comments on the sexualization of children. How do we present this? There we go. Oh, yeah, there we go. Fuck me, dude. That is bad. That is really, really, really fucking bad. Holy shit. That is so fucking bad. If the original movie actually comments on child sexualization, that would be like a movie about child sex trafficking, and the poster is like a pinup picture of a 14-year-old girl with a black eye or something. Holy fuck. I can't even begin to describe how tactless that is. That is unbelievable. So I don't know. What what's the takeaway from this one? Like, I don't know. Don't do that, Netflix. I don't even know. This is like this is unfathomable to me. Man, I don't even know. You know what the real problem is? Are we not going to comment on the title Seriously Cuties? Well, that's the thing. Cuties, I think, works. I am going to assume Cuties is a translation of Mignones or something. It's like a close. Yeah, Mignones means cute. Okay, then that fits. Okay. Cuties can work as a title if it's a story about the sexualization of children. That can work, like, narratively, you know? Mignon. Oh, mignon. Oh, my apologies for butchering the language of the France. Fuck you. Cuties can work as a title if it's about the exploitation of children, but if it's being plastered over this, you know what? I'm bringing this around. You know what? We're taking a 180 on this. So step 1, Netflix is pedophiles. Okay, cool. Step 2, here's my hot take to all of you. Okay, we have a lot. How do I put this? Does anyone else get the feeling that like men, at least in the West, are kind of like taught to be kind of a little pedophile-y a little bit with how much we're fetishizing young girls? Does anyone else kind of get that feeling a little bit, just a smidge possibly? Not like every guy's a pedophile, and I don't believe that, but like the way we hyper fetishize youth for girls is like really weird. It's like really infantilization. Yeah. I'm not talking like a kink thing or anything. Like if you're doing some weird diaper play, have fun, okay. No, but what I mean is like in every aspect of our depiction of sexual relations between men and women, we almost always associate youth with desirability when it comes to women. But not just youth like earlier than like 40, you know? Because people before, I'd say like people like 20 to 40 are all like in a pretty conventionally attractive range. Sometimes beyond that, depending on, you know, a variety of things. But like the girls are never like 35 or 40. They're always 18. They're always 18. You're just saying that because you're 40? I'm 26. Not to mention like a ton of porn is like just turned 18, barely legal, you know. Wait, hold up your driver's license. We'll censor the fucking name, but there it is. Turned birthday 2 days ago. Yep, like there's fresh out of high school. Barely learned how to drive. Hey, thanks for picking me up. Yeah, it's my first day at driver's school. It's crazy how we how much we push this shit. And this gets, and the thing is, and honestly, to be perfectly honest, I think that the only reason it stops there is just because of the law. And if it weren't for the law, I really do think like one of the most popular porn categories would be like 15-year-old girls or something, you know? I genuinely do. I genuinely believe that to be the case. And it's only like the age of consent that's like keeping us from pushing that line even further down. You can see this because when we talk with people who are let's say not held in society's favor, like incel communities or whatever. These people they'll say like, well, what's the ideal sexual age for women? They don't start at 18. They never start at 18. You know, that's not where they begin their range. They always say some shit like 14 to 23 or something like that. You know, I don't know, dude. A lot of it isn't just about the physical youth and appearance of the girls. I think a lot of it is also because there are a lot of really insecure dudes who are kind of fetishize the idea of having a partner who's inexperienced enough to not call them on their bullshit, you know? If you're bad at sex, who cares? Your fucking girlfriend's never had any other dick, so that she doesn't have any standard for judge. You're abusive or manipulative, who cares? She doesn't know what relationships are like, you know? If she's super fucking young, then she has no idea if this is the standard. That's one of the big things. It's like a power thing, you know? You know? Are you like a kind of giant, like worthless piece of shit who contributes nothing to society and isn't really attractive to people in your own age range because women at your own age range are smart enough to realize you're a loser? Who cares? High school girls just think it's cool to be dating someone in their 20s. I don't know, dude. We've got some really fucked up standards when it comes to like youth and women, okay? Like, it's pretty fucking weird. Don't forget our jailbait. Oh yeah, when one of the biggest subreddits on Reddit for years was our jailbait, exclusively dedicated to posting pictures of it for sexual purposes, sexually attractive women under the age of consent. That was there for years. That was a huge subreddit. And the best part is, and I'm saying best here, yeah, classic lay Redditor moment, right? The best part, you know, very much framed in the finger quotes, is that the jailbait stuff was all safe for work, ostensibly, you know, bikini pics, whatever. But obviously, hey, you see this coming. There were a fuck ton of people in DMs just trading child porn. It turns out if you build a community of hundreds of thousands of people who get off on seeing young girls and jerking off to them, they'll also trade child. I know, it's crazy. The only reason Reddit ever shut that down is because the mainstream media caught on to it. That's it. That's the only reason why. If the mainstream media had never caught on to that, then it would still be there today. It would be a default sub. It'd have 2.7 million people, followers. If you went on r/all and you just saw you'd see like a politics thread and a science thread. Oh, there's the jailbait thread with 72,000 upvotes of a 12-year-old girl doing a somersault with a camel toe. We let this shit go way too far. Way the fuck too far, personally. And I don't think it's just a legal thing. I think, frankly, here's what I'm following with here. Can you guys hear the helicopter outside? By the way, is that motherfucker like? Are they coming to get the cuties picture off my desktop? Because the feds are like, it sounds like they're 10 feet above my fucking house. Jesus Christ. Yeah, thank RTX voice, whatever the case may be. Here's my takeaway from this. Okay. Here's my takeaway from this. Apart from just Netflix's pedos, okay? You know what we need to do? You ready for it? We need to socially disincentivize the fetishization of youth. Like, massively. Like, in general, with our friends and like in our social groups. Like, listen, if you're like young and you like young people, that's totally fine. Like, whatever, okay? And I've noticed this a lot, defensiveness on the part of like young boys. Like, there will be a 15-year-old boy. And I've seen this happen in communities. There'll be a 15-year-old boy and somebody will be like, dude, you shouldn't fetishize young people. And the 15-year-old boy will be like, no, there's nothing wrong. They can be hot. Like, okay, I get it. You're 15, whatever, do your thing, okay? But like in broader online communities, when people are like nonstop talking about, the worst of it is when people talk about the wall, like women hit the wall at 30 or whatever, but it's in lighter variants than that too. People are constantly like fetishizing like the just young college freshman thing. What is the wall? The wall is the idea that like The wall is the idea that, like, past a certain age, women are all dried up and not good for sex anymore. And not attractive anymore. But they don't think men has the wall. You never heard of the wall? Man, I've got a lot of young people here. Anyway, yeah. Just socially disincentivize that shit, okay? Listen, if you're fucking on Tinder or whatever, okay, look, exercise reasonable discretion. If you're fucking 25 and you're like, oh, the 18 and 19-year-old college freshman or whatever, like, think about it, okay? But in general, when people are going, like, hardcore crazy fetishizing young people, okay, maybe don't do that, so that when you grow up and become a Netflix executive, you don't have this picture shot as promotional material for a movie that's about the sexualization of young girls, okay? That's what we're doing it. So in 2040, this doesn't happen again, okay? That's what I'm saying. Okay.